So I'm going to record and we'll get started. And then we'll leave time at the end if you guys have questions and things, concerns, where you're at with your business, what you need help with, that kind of thing. So the first thing I wanted to kind of address, like we've done, I think 16 posts. And as I look through it, there's a lot of information, and granted each day it doesn't take a super long time to do the assignments, but to kind of compile it and feel like you have a handle on the business may feel overwhelming. And that was, we want you to have the information, but we don't want you to be overwhelmed. So it's kind of like one of those things where we want to make sure you understand the premise of things. When I became a coach, I did a Coach Basics group, and it was similar. However, it was a little bit more hardcore in the sense, Sarah Lenore ran it. I don't know if you know who Sarah Lenore is. She is my coach's coach. She is a three-time elite coach. I think she's like an 8-star, and she's super successful. I'll just put it that way. She's super successful. But it was 3 years ago. She probably was where I am now, maybe. Like, she started seeing some success. She's not like at that point yet. But when she ran these groups, like if you didn't do the assignments on Friday, she'd kick you out of the group. So I had like this fear. So I remember like I had just started the business and I was like, Greg, I have like an hour. I was like a little over paranoid. I don't think she kicked people out unless they were like really not doing the assignments, but I took it super literal. Like, I better do it or she's going to kick me out. So we're a little bit more laid back than that, obviously, because I don't want people to like get freaked out, and because life happens and we all have things going on. But I remember doing that, and there was a lot of pieces of the business that I took in the Coach Basics that didn't really sink in till later on. So, but the things that did sink in right away, that I took into action, were the vital behaviors. Back then there was only 3 vital behaviors. Now there's 4. The 4th one isn't something you have to be overly concerned about right now until you start building a team. But the vital behaviors are the number one thing that you need to know and understand with your business, because in order to move forward, you need to understand what to do with it, and that they actually, honestly, they're the 4 things that you do every single day. So if you know these 4 things and you do them every day and you're consistent with it, you will see your business grow. And it is covered in our Coach Basics group, but I am going to go over it again because I want this to be the piece that hits home with you. And as far as, tomorrow when you wake up and you think about what you're going to do with your business, these are the things you're going to do. We did do a post on the Power Hour, and that's a tool to help you sort of framework your time, because everyone in this group has busy lives, and we want to figure out the best way to be, oops, my computer's not plugged in, to be good with our time. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of that. So I'm going to start with one that I did not take seriously until probably a year and a half into the business, maybe even longer, maybe 2 years. I'm 3 years into the business now, is personal development. Honestly, I'm such like a task person, like give me a list of things to do and I will do it. However, I felt like personal development wasn't going to be an income producing activity for me. And that's really what I focused on, was income producing activities, which were the things that were going to bring me income to my family. However, I was so wrong, because personal development is the thing that is the framework, or when you think of like when you build a house, you need to have a foundation. I feel like personal development is the foundation to your business, because your business will go up and down. And in the beginning, it will go up and down a lot because you're learning, and you're going to have a lot more no's than yeses in the beginning. Maybe not, some people have different experiences. But many times you're kind of figuring out how to be authentic and how to post and then do all these things. But that personal development is going to keep you in a good place with it. And even now, 3 years into the business, I have ups and downs. I have months where I am a little bit more defeated than other months, but I maintain my personal development, and that's what keeps me having a positive attitude. Obviously, my personal network within our team helps me, But that personal development, I now truly understand how important that is. So that is one thing that you need to make sure you are doing every day. And I know many of you are still in the learning phase and you're kind of taking in the information before you start taking action into your business. But that should be something you're doing every day. You know, make sure you have a personal development book that you're either reading or listening on Audible. I listen on Audible most of the time. I also do podcasts, and you can get the Team Beachbody playbacks from the National Wake Up Call on Mondays. They play them back on there, and those are good ways to learn about some of the top coaches, and kind of they give you their tips and things like that, which is really helpful. So make sure that's on your list. Okay. Another thing, being a product of the product, we already know that. I think all of us do a good job with that, working out, drinking our Shakeology. So that's it. I think a no-brainer. Number 3 is invitations. Now, this one is a little bit more complicated, and I think probably the scariest part for a lot of people. Part of the invitation process has to do with posting every single day. Not like, oh, I don't feel like doing it today. Because what happens is that when you start posting every day, you're creating sort of a reputation or a brand for yourself. Kind of, people will start realizing like this girl or this guy is the real deal. They're the real deal with this. They're not joking around. It takes some consistency. Like, you have to stick with it. If all of a sudden you fall off the wagon and don't post for a week, people just don't take you as seriously, quite frankly. So posting has to be a priority. And part of posting is tricky. I mean, it's taken me years to kind of figure it out. I still work on it every day. But figuring out your brand is going to be really important. I did a Zoom call on it last week. I would suggest it. I think I called the Zoom, what did I call it? I can't remember. It was last Monday, a week ago, last Monday. So it's in Team All Stars. So I would suggest listening to the whole thing, because that'll help you figure out your brand. But just kind of in summary, your brand, you're going to want to kind of figure out what are the things that you want to be known for. Okay, what are the things that you want people, when they think of you, this is what they know you for. And this is part of your story. When we talk about your story, for me, the things I want to be known for is overcoming adversity, body image issues. Okay, that's something that I feel strongly about. Those are things that I struggled with, especially as a teenager. And I feel strongly, like, I have a daughter. I really want her to have a really positive self-image and viewpoint of herself. So that's my number 1 brand position. My number 2 was someone who can prioritize and be organized with their time. Basically a mom who can do these things. Like, a lot of people say, I can't do that. I've got this and that and the other thing going on. Is understanding that you can do it. It's having that. And my third one has to do with, just kind of like raising a healthy family and passing that along to my kids. So those are questions you need to ask yourself, and that will help you develop your brand. And again, watch that video that I did last week if you have time. Gosh darn it, I can't remember the name of it, what I named it. I labeled it, but you'll figure it out. So the invitation process, those postings, like I said, 3 to 5 times per day. And that might feel laborious for a little bit, but it is a piece of the business that we have to kind of stick to. Number 2, inviting has to do with reaching out to people. It has to do with, it's not reaching out necessarily cold inviting, like, hey, listen, I'm a Beachbody coach and I do this, that, and the other. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's reconnecting with people, reestablishing friendships and relationships without any strings attached. And you really kind of have to let that go, because people can see right through it. You want to be authentic, and you want it to you want it to be real. So reach out to those people. I would suggest 3 people a day. You should reach out and just say, hey, make sure you're reconnecting. Make sure it's people you want to reconnect with, not just like, I'm just going to pick this person. Find people you want to reconnect with, okay? And just say, hey, what's going on? Hello, this, that, and the other. And have a tracking system, because as these conversations come along and move along, if they're seeing your posting, that Beachbody piece is going to come up. It will come up, and then there will be an opportunity for you to invite. Okay, invite, like, hey, I've got this really cool group coming up. So, that's something to think about. I always try to make sure that I get 3 invites a day as well. So 3 connections and 3 invites at a minimum. And I know that can be difficult when you're at the very beginning of your journey. But one way that I kind of get around it is with every post, every single person that likes my post, I reach out to them. Or if they comment, obviously I'm going to reach out to them if they comment. I might just say, hey, thanks for liking my post. I really appreciate it. It's sometimes can be hard for me putting myself out there, or something along those lines. And they'll respond, and that starts a conversation, and again, be authentic with it. So that's the invitation process. There's a lot of resources we can pull and bring to it, but don't make it overcomplicated. Honestly, in the beginning, as I said, like I did that coach training, but I really just focused on, I reached out to 3 people a day, and I tried to sell 1 challenge pack a week. That was my goal in the beginning. That's what I did for like the first year. Like if I could get 1 challenge pack a week, I was super thrilled. And I kind of made it my no matter what in my brain was like, get a challenge pack a week. And I just kind of, when you change your mindset, you change everything. The 4th vital behavior is recognition. And again, that more has to do with when you build a team. However, that recognition piece can be really important when you're starting to run challenge groups. It's just kind of keeping that positive vibe going, making sure you're reaching out to your challengers, making sure you're recognizing when they have success and things like that. So we really, just want to make sure that you guys understand that's really all the business is. All the other stuff we can fill in the gaps, and your team is going to be there for you. We're going to be there for you for questions and figuring out how to handle this. And okay, where do I get this code to email them, or how do I enroll a new coach, or how do I do this, that, and the other? We can do all that. But if you guys tomorrow make a commitment to yourself that I'm going to do 10 minutes of personal development, I'm going to reach out to 3 people, and I'm going to see if I can get 3 invites out there. Make that commitment to yourself. Obviously, do your Shakeology and workout. I know you guys are already doing that 3 to 5 times a week. You guys are going to be golden. Do that every day. Those invites and reaching out doesn't have to take you a long time, especially in the beginning of the business. Just do it. Make sure your posts are out there. Keep it simple. Like use the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Like do your invites, post, workout, personal development. Boom. So with that said, like start taking action. Some of you have started taking action. Some of you, you're at different rates, and we're not telling you what rate to go at. You guys know where you're at. I think some of you are kind of trying to take the information in and then maybe taking action. Some of you are already taking action. I know Nathan's been taking a lot of action. Know where you're at, but if you're not taking action, don't make it because of fear. If it's fear, then that's not a good excuse. If it's because, this is the pace you want to take, that's totally fine. So just kind of think about that as far as with your business. If you're ready to take action, do it tomorrow. Make a list. These are the things I'm going to do. These are the 6 people I'm going to talk to. Boom. You can be done with it super quick. It doesn't have to take a long time. And you will notice if you do that every day, your business will grow. Because as I said before, my first year of my business, I didn't put a whole lot of time into it, but I was super consistent about my invites, my posting, my workouts, and not my personal development. That came later. But I was super consistent with my workouts, my posts, and my invites every single day. I honestly didn't spend that much time on the business, quite frankly, but I was consistent. And I did the basics. If you do the basics, nothing's going to stop your business from growing. It will grow. So when you get discouraged, reach out to a teammate, read your personal development, because we're all going to get discouraged. It's just part of the business. It's just part of the way things go. So that's my spiel for today. Oh, the other thing, Sarah and I were talking about, depending where you're at now, this coach, we have a few more posts to go for the week, so there's a few more things to wrap up with things, but you've gotten the gist of most of the things that we wanted to share with you. But moving forward, depending on where you're at with your business, as far as if you understand the basics, our next goal for you is for you to become an Emerald coach. Okay, I believe there was a post on Ranks, right, Sarah? There was probably one. There was, okay. So with Emerald, that is your first goal in your business, along with hitting Success Club for the first time. So next month is April, which starts Saturday. We want your first goals just on Emerald. So we didn't talk about Success Club. I can't remember. But our first goals for you.
We didn't talk about Diamond. I didn't talk about Diamond. I don't think.
We don't need to talk about Diamond yet.
I don't know what day is it.
I know. What day is it? Where are we at? Spring break. I know. I don't know who I am. Spring break can't come fast enough. So Emerald, okay, so your first goals for your business, once you understand the concept of the business, which really don't make it more complicated than it needs to be, is to become an Emerald coach, which is basically 2 coaches. That's it. Can be a spouse or a partner, and your first coach, a discount coach, could be a sibling, could be a parent. You should be able to hit Emerald really quick. Honestly, if you have a spouse, they should become your first coach, and your second coach is going to be one of your first challengers, someone that falls in love with Shakeology. They're going to become your first discount coach. Boom, Emerald in. And you're going to start earning Team Cycle bonus once you start building that team. Your second goal, April starts Saturday. We want you all to hit Success Club. Let's see how many are on this call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 of you on this call. Success Club. That's 3 challenge packs. 3 challenge packs in the month of April. Make that a challenge for yourself. Make it happen. Make it like a no matter what in your brain. I'm telling you, there's something to be said about a shift in your brain that I will make this happen. Don't make it like a positive statement that, oh, I'll make it happen. No, believe it. Believe you're going to make it happen. And once you make it like a no matter what, like there's no excuses, I'm going to make it happen. You will do your vital behaviors every single day. And I'm telling you, if you do your vital behaviors every single day, I don't see why your business wouldn't grow. I mean, it'll be bumpy, but it'll grow. So those are your 2 goals. And Sarah and I were thinking about running an Emerald group, basically when you're ready. And we're going to use it for other coaches that maybe needed a revival back into their business, but a push to Emerald, basically some tools to get you to Emerald. So kind of think that in the back of your mind. We haven't worked out all the details yet, but that's kind of like the next step. That's my spiel. Sarah, I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Hey guys.
Hey,
it's so good to see everybody's faces. Okay, so I was going to talk about empowering others. And I know Sarah talked about the 4 vitals. I actually have not missed a day of PD since I started this. And some of my PD is like a 3-minute inspirational video. So it can be whatever. But yeah, I listen to it in the shower. I listen to it in the car. But I get a lot of my posts from that. And what Sarah said is true as far as reaching out to others, because, I got 2 emails today, 2 coach cancellations. And I'm like, mother effer. Dang. And I texted Sarah. I think I texted you right away. But it's okay. That's part of the business and it's going to happen. But if you have that personal development in place, you can handle those objections, those cancellations, those ups and downs so much easier. And I listened to some personal development today, and that's what I wanted to share with you about. I don't even know, quite honestly, if it fits here, but it inspired me, and I think you can use it with your challengers, and I think you can apply it to yourself. In fact, I was going to go live on this in my next challenge group. If you have paper and pencil, you can write this name down if you want to watch the video yourself, because he was pretty awesome. His name is Scott Geller, and it was a TED Talk. Actually, you know what? I can post it I can post the link in our Coach Basics group. But it was all about holding people accountable. And as coaches, that's what we do now. You're going to have to help hold people accountable. But the number one person you hold accountable is yourself. You hold yourself accountable for the 4 vitals. You hold yourself accountable for your business. And he talks about, how do you get people to go beyond the call of duty? How do you get people to do more? And as coaches, I feel like that's exactly what we do. We ask our challengers to maybe do something we've never done. So when I'm going through these quick notes, I want you to think about your challengers, yes. And if you haven't run a challenge group yet, still think about the people, your future challengers. But I really want you to try to apply it to the business. So how do you inspire people to be self-motivated? There are 3 questions that I'm going to ask you. And if you're answering yes to all of these, then you feel empowerment, because I think that's the goal of Coach Basics. And the goal of this business is that we are not going to push and pull you. Okay, it's just not going to happen. We're not going to push you to be diamond. We're not going to pull you to be emerald. It's not how it works. We're going to meet you where you're at. We're going to give you tools. We're going to share experiences, and be your mentor, be like your wingman, but we're not going to push you in one direction or another. If I ever come across as pushy, it's really because I see potential. But if you are one of my PS coaches, you need to tell me to step off. You're being pushy, and I will do that, because the business doesn't work if you have to pull people along. Okay, the goal is to empower you and empower your future coaches, your team that you're going to develop. And so here are the 3 questions to know if you feel empowered, or if your coaches feel empowered, or your challengers feel empowered. And your goal is to answer yes to these. So question number 1 is simple. Can you do it? Do you have a deep belief that you can make this business work? And that's where your PD comes into play. Can you do it? Do you have the time? And like Sarah said, the time is, if you get to those 4 vitals, then that's what you get to. When I was building my business early on, I Shakeology every day, my workout every day, and I tried to post 2 times a day was my goal. That's what I did. And my invites were a mass amount of invites and connections on the weekend, because I wasn't making I didn't see how to make the time during the week, working full time and having 3 littles at my beck and call. So can you do it? Do you have the time? Do you have the knowledge? We're giving you knowledge. Now what are you going to do with it? Okay, and that goes into the action. And do you have the tools? Do you feel like you have the tools? And Sarah maybe talked about this already because I hopped on late. But you're going to have just massive amounts of information with this business. You could really go crazy. Get really good at one thing. Get really good at one tool, and then move on to the next. I did not do that early on, and I really feel like there's some holes in my business now because of it. I'm not saying my approach was bad. I just hit the ground running, and I was like, tell me what to do. But I have some holes now that I have to go back and fill, and I'm doing that. But get really good at one thing. You don't have to be on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Just get really good at Facebook. Or if you're an Instagram person, get really good at that. You don't have to have all of them at once. So can you do it? I would like you to type right now, yes or no to that. I really want to see some feedback, because that will tell me, and be honest, because if you say no, then that is great information for Sarah and I to help you with maybe your next PD book, maybe help you with some more tools, maybe give you baby steps that we can move you forward so that you're feeling some success. Yes, absolutely. I can do it. All right. Did I hear from everybody? Yes, I can. Okay. Second question. Thank you. Second question. Will it work? Do you believe that the behaviors you do that Sarah just covered, those 4 vital behaviors, do you believe it will lead to the outcome you want? Do you believe whatever goal you set, get your Shakeology paid for, hit Emerald, make $1,000 a week, buy a house, retire someday, retire your spouse, travel, whatever your goal is, do you believe that the behaviors that Sarah just covered will lead to that outcome? Will it work? Yes or no? Hit me with it. No isn't an option. I love it, Nicole. And this is where, you have education. He talks about this in the video. I'm going to try it. I'm probably going to screw this up. You have education and training. So we've given you some education. The training is when you actually do it. So you can watch these videos, you can be on these calls, but the training is when you actually do it. So there is a difference. He talked about, you already know the difference, because when your kids are in high school, they have sex education. They don't have sex training. There's a difference. Okay, you have to actually do these behaviors. So yes, did you all believe this is going to work? The third question, and this was huge for me, I had to ask myself this today, is it worth it? And that's where you have that big vision. or those goals, is this going to be worth it? Do you believe that the sacrifices you're going to make, the time you're going to put in, do you believe that consequences, good or bad consequences, are going to be worth it? Do you have, because here's the deal, if you don't believe it's worth it, you're not going to convince anybody else. You're just not. Okay, so do you believe this opportunity is worth it? And some of you have had some major results with the program. It's worth it to you. And like, I know Tracy's done an amazing job sharing her results and sharing her story because she believes it's worth it. Okay, and the key then is through your story, convincing other people that it's worth it. And that's where the whole sharing comes in. So yes or no to that? Did you already type it? Oh, who said that? Teresa, because of Beachbody. That's awesome. I love that. So it's worth it. The programs are worth it. Is the business going to be worth it to you? Okay. So those questions, if you can answer yes to those, then you are empowered and you're ready to go. You are ready to make this a business. And that's what you can talk to your future challengers and coaches about as well. I could keep going, but I don't know how much time we have. What do you guys want me to do? You want me to keep going?
We have 10 minutes
No.
but that's good info.
Okay, then I'll just go back to the 4 C's he talked about. When you can answer yes to those questions, you feel competent. And again, think about this as a business and your future coaches. Your goal is that they feel competent. People are motivated by choice. And we already addressed that. You have choice in how you run your business. You have choice in the goals you set. You have choice in your behaviors. Are you going to do the vitals? You get to choose whether or not, if you're tired, if you're going to hop on a team call. You get to choose if you're going to do your invites. And I'm going to be honest with you, I hate inviting. I don't know what it is. It's the hardest piece for me. So when I get up in the morning, this is my new routine. That's the first thing I do. I will try to tackle my invites. I don't know why that is. I've got to get over that. But you have choice, and people are motivated by choice. So really, it's up to you. And again, we're your wingman. We're going to help guide you. And the other piece is we learn from you. Okay, you are never. I don't care how long you're in this business. You listen to top coaches; they're constantly learning and growing from other coaches. So don't think that just because you're new, you can't contribute to your team page or you can't contribute to a challenge group. People can learn from you. You've already had great experiences, so share them. Don't think that you have nothing to contribute to, your fitness page or your regular Facebook page. You can contribute. Communication is the 3rd C. This is huge. When I mean communication, I don't just mean to others. I mean what you communicate to yourself. And this has probably been my biggest area of growth. What do you say? Are you a success seeker or a failure avoider? So I used to avoid failure. Now I seek success. And I love this. It's all in what you say to yourself. Do you say, oh, I have to wake up? I've got to wake up. Or do you say, I get to wake up? Oh, I've got to work out. And listen, I know there are days I don't want to work out. But it's all in how you speak to yourself. Instead of saying, oh, I have to work out, you get to work out. And I am telling you, there are people in this world that do not get to work out. They do not have the choice. And I think of that every single day. You get that choice, and you get to inspire others to make that choice. This is my favorite. I'm actually going to start this. Do you have to wake up to an alarm clock? Or you might want to write this down because this is good stuff. Or is it an opportunity clock? Think about it. Every new day is an opportunity. Every single day. And I actually might rename my alarms for that. It's an opportunity clock. It's an opportunity to change someone's life. It's an opportunity to make your life better. It's an opportunity to be a better spouse or parent. It's an opportunity to make mistakes. I mean, Lord knows I made a million today. And it's just in how you perceive that. So communication is huge. If you're communicating that to yourself in a positive way, how do you think you're going to look to others? What's your communication going to be like? You're probably going to be really positive. And people are drawn to that. They're drawn to your positivity. You're going to bring people into your world and you're not even going to know it. I mean, they're going to be following you. It's a lot harder to hit snooze on opportunity. Yes, it is. They're going to be following you and you may not even know how you're affecting them in a positive way. So when you think of communication, think of how you're talking to yourself. And then the other C, the last one, is community. Sarah already talked about this too, I think. You did, Sarah, when you said reach out to others. You have a community that is not just All Stars and Ignite Your Soul, but you have Good Vibes Tribe and Team Body Burn, and it goes on up. And you're going to find a lot of strength in that community. Because the truth is we need each other. And I wholeheartedly believe this. And I can say that because I isolate myself when I get down and depressed. I withdraw. It's just what I do. And I'm really starting to go the opposite direction. We need each other and we need to have each other's back. And I don't reach my goals unless you reach your goals. And I'm going to be honest, it's a whole hell of a lot more exciting when one of my coaches reaches a goal than when I reach mine. I mean, I can't wait for the day when one of my coaches comes to me and says, I am retiring from my job. And to know that I had a hand in that. So just keep that in mind. Your community is your coaching community, and we're here for each other. But then what type of community are you creating in your challenge groups too? Because those people are going to want to come back. And I have 2 on this call tonight. 2 of my best challengers are coaches now, and they're rock star coaches. So you just never know. And Tracy, I think you told me you would be my biggest challenge. Do you remember that? Yeah, that wasn't true. So just keep those in mind and try to empower yourself. And I just think you'll empower others because you guys are rocking out the basics. And I'm just really excited for you. Sarah and I have been talking, and I'm excited to see where this leads for everybody. That's all I got. That dude that did a much better job presenting, but
well, I mean, what you shared is like a testament to how important personal development is, because all the stuff you shared was personal development that you took and you are able to apply it into your business. And it means so much more than, imagine you didn't do your personal development and you just like, okay, I do these things. You know what I mean? Like, it's more than that. It's more than that. So that was really good info for all of us. So anyway, no, I agree with Sarah. Like, I think this group is really, everyone on this call has been invested in the group, and they're staying connected with what we're posting. So we appreciate that, first of all, because Sarah and I do put work into the group. So we appreciate it when people stay invested, but it also is showing that you believe that this is something you can make happen. And we believe it as well. We've been doing it for a little bit longer because we know that it works. We've seen it working in other people and in ourselves. And you guys are putting your trust in us. And we appreciate that because we believe that this could be something that will work for you and your families and your situations. So anyway, so stay tuned with some things that might be coming up, because we want your first goal to be hitting Success Club in April, which is selling 3 challenge packs. And another one is hitting Emerald, which is 2 coaches, which doesn't have to be more complicated. Then don't make it too complicated. Again, use that simple. If you ever get overwhelmed, stick to the very basics. That's what I say. Stick to the very basics. Don't give up. Like, don't make it like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to do anything. I'm overwhelmed. I'm going to do the basics. That should be your fall too. I'm going to do the basics today, and you'll be good to go. I promise you that. So thanks, guys, for hopping on the call.
Hey, Sarah, were there any questions? I don't know if you started out that way.
I didn't. Oh, duh. No, I did not start out that way. Does anyone have any questions?
Or something you're struggling with, or you need scripts or, words that you can use. Like Nathan, you just said it's a lot harder to hit snooze on opportunity. You should totally post that.
Mm-hmm.
Although you don't work out in the morning, do you?
Yeah, that would be a good post opportunity. So, yeah, I mean, don't ever hesitate to reach out to any of us privately or in the group. Sometimes, I apologize in advance. I do my best to get back into the group and check all the comments and things like that. If one of us doesn't respond to a question you put in there, personal message, private message one of us. Because it's not because we're ignoring you, we just missed it. Okay, so I just want you guys to know that right now. Like if you put a comment or a question on a thread and you're forgetting or you're noticing one of us doesn't respond, which we do, both of us try to make sure one of us responds, private message one of us or both of us, and we're totally fine with that. That's what we're here for. So don't hesitate. No question is a dumb question. We were all where you were not that long ago. So, and if you questions on branding, Nathan, did you watch that call I did were you there? Were you on that call? I can't remember. You were. Okay. So what I would suggest to you, I posted the link to that call in the comments. I posted the where I got that information and asked those specific questions about like, what are the top things you want to be known for? Read that and answer the questions and send to Sarah or I, or both of us, or definitely send to Sarah or Sarah and I. And then we will help you. Once you answer those questions, we can help you develop your branding. Do you know what I'm talking about? That Zoom link that I put in there in the comments section of that. I put something that you click on that and you'll see the questions in there. Answer those questions and get back to us, and then we'll help with the branding. Unless you have more specific questions on branding, let us know that. But that's what that's what I did, and it helped me so much. Okay. Gotcha.
So when you say you're inviting the 3 people a day, that's just reaching out and saying, do you want to join me? Is that the point of that?
It's both. I reach out to people to say, just to connect. So I have connections. I make connections with people all the time. And then the invites, I make sure that I am, like a lot of the invites, I have to make sure the timing's right, first of all. You're not going to just like be a cold invite salesperson like, hey, I'm doing this or that. I try to make sure the timing's right. So part of that might be, a connection you made one day, staying in touch with them, commenting on their posts, keeping a conversation. Oh, it looks like we have less than a minute to go. Commenting on your posts, staying in touch with them, and then you will find the timing to be right to put that invite. I don't know if you have something to add to that, Sarah. Invite. There are cold invites you can do, but I don't know.
Yeah, after a conversation's been going. Now you have a liked page, so Tracy, actually your cousin helped me with wording on my like page, but every message I send out is almost like an invite, where if they've liked my page, I'll thank them and say, what are your fitness goals? How can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an invitation to help them. It's not a specific invitation to the group. But I can send you, or if you want to send me a conversation. But yeah, I don't.
Yeah, always end anytime you message someone, always end with a question. And that's a great question. Like, hey, what are your fitness goals? Especially if they just liked your page or if they liked a